successfully crushed in 1965. I think that is what bravery means to me. The 30,000 raiders or mujahids who were infiltrated in Kashmir during the Operation Gibraltar at the time were all contained within 15 days. The timely action done by the 19th Division of the Indian Army in the Mirpur area resulted in the Operation Gibraltar being a total disaster. Indian attack on Lahore district during the same time established the capture of Dograib, Barki, and areas east of Ichukil Canal. This war also gave rise to some unparalleled heroes like Havildar Abdul Hamid, known for single-handedly demolishing Pakistani meetings. On 10 September 1965, a Pakistani regiment launched an attack at a strategic location near Chima village. Abdul Hamid, who was then commander of an RCL gun detachment, took an advantageous position and knocked out the enemy leading tank. He then went on to destroy 6 more tanks after getting killed during an engagement with the 7th. He was awarded the highest gallantry award, the Param Veer Chakra, for his valiant sacrifice, which to this day remains an inspiration to us all.
Thank you so much, Purvi. That was very eloquent indeed. I would like to keep this flow going and invite Akshat now. Akshat, please take over.
Taking this discussion forward, now let us talk about one of the most difficult battles fought by India after independence. That is the Kargil War. The Kargil War is full of incidents where our Veer Jawans had shown exemplary courage and bravery. Before going ahead, it is important for us to understand the background of Kargil, to understand that how difficult it was for our army to win that war, because our enemy was at the hilltop and we were at a much lower height. Kargil is situated at a height where in winters the temperature even goes below -30, -40 degrees Celsius. Keeping this in mind, the Shimla Agreement was signed between the two countries, India and Pakistan, which stated that in the month of October, both the countries would leave their respective bunkers. But Pakistan broke the Shimla Agreement and its soldiers occupied Indian bunkers as well. They were fully ready for a war with all the arms and ammunition with them. But we, the Indian army, was not prepared. But still, the war began on 19th of May 1999, when our army started with the Operation Vijay. Operation Vijay officially ended on 26th of July 1999, where we unfurled our Tiranga at the Tiger Hill. In the war, India lost 527 Veer Jawans who sacrificed their lives for our victory. For example, Lieutenant Balwan Singh, who led his unit to the Tiger Hill. And it is quite important for us to remember that he had just done his duty for 3 months. Still, he had that courage for his country to lead the unit, and he played a major role in recapturing back of the Tiger Hill. Rajesh Adhikari, who played a significant role in recapturing of the Tololing Peak. There are many other numerous examples like Nayak Dijendra Kumar, Grenadier Yogendra Singh Yadav, and many more, who paved the way for India's victory through their blood.
Thank you so much, Akshat. Your mention of the Kargil War actually reminds me of Captain Vikram Batra, whom we all know now as the beloved Shesha, and his Dil Mange More interview, which touched all our hearts. I would like to call upon Shreyansh Raval now for more goosebump-inducing stories. Go ahead, Shreyansh.
चलिए अब चर्चा को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं बात करना चाहूंगा भारतीय सशस्त्र सेनाओं के उन शूरवीरों की जिन्होंने इस वतन की गरिमा को बनाए रखने के लिए अपने प्राणों की आहुति तक देने में संकोच नहीं किया। इनकी वीर गाथाएं आज की युवा के लिए अत्यंत प्रेरणादायक हैं। ऐसे ही एक जांबाज सैनिक थे 50 पैरा ब्रिगेड के कमांडर ब्रिगेडियर मोहम्मद उस्मान, जिन्हें नौशेरा का शेर भी कहा जाता है। 1948 में जब भारत और पाकिस्तान में रियासतों का विलय हो रहा था, तब इन्हीं के पराक्रम का परिणाम था कि झांगड़ इलाका, जो कि जम्मू कश्मीर में स्थित है, वह आज भारत का हिस्सा बना हुआ है। पाकिस्तान ने कबायलियों की सहायता से इस इलाके पर कब्जा करने की कई बार कोशिश की और उन्हें सफलता भी मिली, परंतु ऑपरेशन विजय के तहत 18 मार्च 1948 को भारतीय सेना ने इस इलाके पर अपना झंडा एक बार फिर से फहराया। 3 जुलाई 1948 को मात्र 35 वर्ष की उम्र में ब्रिगेडियर मोहम्मद उस्मान ने सर्वोच्च बलिदान दिया और मरणोपरांत उन्हें महावीर चक्र से सम्मानित भी किया गया था। 16 मराठा लाइट इन्फेंट्री के कर्नल नीलाकंठन जयचंद्रन नायर, जो कि इंडियन आर्मी के सबसे डेकोरेटेड ऑफिसर्स में से एक हैं। 1983 में उन्होंने एंटी इंसर्जेंसी ऑपरेशंस लीड किए इन मिजोरम एंड ही फ्लश्ड आउट इंसर्जेंट्स फ्रॉम देयर हाइडआउट्स। अपने लीडरशिप के लिए उन्हें कीर्ति चक्र से सम्मानित भी किया गया था। 1993 में he was deployed at an insurgents infested area, Nagaland. On December 20th, 1993, Colonel Nair and his advance party of convoy were ambushed by a big group of insurgents who were armed with automatic weapons and killed a commissioned officer and 13 soldiers on the spot. कर्नल नायर ने हैवी फायरिंग के बीच अपने ट्रूप्स को एक एडवांटेजियस पोजीशन में लीड किया और इंजर्ड ट्रूप्स को अपने शोल्डर्स पे कैरी करके उन्हें बचाया. He forced the rebels to retreat, but succumbed to his injuries and attained martyrdom. Posthumous, he was awarded India's highest peacetime gallantry award, the Ashok Chakra. Another story of such valor is of Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan, the commander of the 51 SAG, in Operation Black Tornado on 26 November 2008. We all remember the day, don't we? In their efforts to free women who were held hostage in a room, his team decided to break open, but they faced a barrage from fires from the terrorists. The rounds hit one of his colleagues and he immediately arranged for his evacuation. Major Sandeep engaged in a firefight with the terrorists who were trying to escape, and in the encounter that followed, he was shot from the back. The blow proved fatal, and he sacrificed his life while managing to save 14 hostages from the hotel all alone. He was a true hero in all senses. उन्हें अशोक चक्र से सम्मानित भी किया गया था for his outstanding courage, unyielding fighting spirit and supreme sacrifice. ऐसे ही बहुत से जवानों ने हमारे देश के लिए, इस देश का मान बढ़ाने के लिए शहादत दी है. इनकी शहादत से देश के युवा को प्रेरणा लेनी चाहिए और ये समझना चाहिए कि कैसे एक जवान रोज अपनी जान जोखिम में डालकर इस देश के हर एक नागरिक की सुरक्षा का ख्याल रखता है, अपने परिवार से दूर रहकर निरंतर एक ही काम में जुटा रहता है, अपने देश पे कोई भी आंच ना आ सके. वाइस एडमिरल नीलाकांत कृष्णन, जो कि रॉयल इंडियन नेवी में 1971 इंडो पाक वॉर में एक बेहद अहम योगदान निभा चुके हैं, उन्होंने कहा था, इफ यू कट ओपन माई चेस्ट, एम्बेडेड इन माई हार्ट यू विल सी 4 letters, नेवी, NAVY. That right there is the spirit of every soldier of this country, and I proudly salute each one of them.
Thank you so much, Shreyansh. Very, very well said, I must say. Now, I would like to call upon the last speaker for our panel discussion today. Pratyaksha, take it over.
Indian forces come from the land of Gautam Buddha and thus have been ambassadors of peace and harmony for ages. The unique combination of having a democratic and a diverse country with an experience in state formation along with the traditionally disciplined and lawful armed forces makes India apt in the context of 21st century peacekeeping. India has committed itself to maintain internal, regional, and international security. The paramilitary forces and the CAPF have been instrumental in maintenance of internal security in a vast country like ours. The Indian Armed Forces, including the Indian Army, Navy, and the Air Force, have tremendously assisted India maintain regional security while having very real threats like cross-border terrorism. India reflects upon the ideology of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, meaning the world is one family, and India's active participation as a contributor to UN peacekeeping operations stands up to this belief. India is the largest cumulative troop contributor to the peacekeeping operations, having deployed more than 250,000 peacekeepers across 49 UN missions. Currently, almost 5,500 uniformed personnel are deployed under the blue flag in various missions. India has aided the process of political stabilization in many countries like Korea, Cambodia, Laos, or Haiti. In doing so, 168 gallant soldiers of our motherland have made the supreme sacrifice. Captain G.S. Salaria, a recipient of Paramveer Chakra, laid down his life for the cause of peace in Congo. He showed spirits of sacrifice, courage, and fervent zeal for peace till his last breath. Major Ramaswamy Parameshwaram received the Paramveer Chakra in 1987 for his courage, fortitude, and valor as a member of IPKF in Sri Lanka. India also acknowledges the fact that the wars of tomorrow will not just be fought physically on ground, but also through soft powers. With policies furthering Atmanirbharta and alliances like Quad, which strengthen the idea of stability, peace, and reliability in the Indo-Pacific, will further the aims of modernization of our Indian army and combating possible technological warfare. I'd just like to end by saying, वे वीर जिनकी वीरता हमें आज भी झकझोर देती है, उनकी वीर गाथाएं सदा अमर रहेंगी.
Very well said, Pratyaksha. Thank you so much for that. You concluded the entire panel discussion very well. Through this entire and erudite panel discussion, we paid homage today to the Indian Army. Field Marshal K.M. Cariappa had once said that we must not mourn the martyrs, for they are immortalized forevermore. The motto of the Indian Army, service before self, encourages us the young Indians, to always uphold dearly the values of selfless service, fraternity, and love for this nation. This day gives us yet another chance to honor the Indian bravehearts whose military prowess has made the nation capable to hold its head up high. With that, we now have a presentation video by the students of classes 7th, 8th, and 10th, Veer Gatha, the Saga of Valiance.
Namaskar everyone. To honor the acts of bravery and sacrifice of the officers of the armed forces, other lawfully constituted forces and civilians, gallantry awards are announced twice in a year. First on the occasion of Republic Day and then on the occasion of Independence Day. In order to disseminate the details of acts of bravery and the life stories of these brave hearts, let us embark on this insightful journey of recipients of Gallantry Awards.
When you go home, tell them of us and tell that for their tomorrow we gave our today. This eulogy given by the author John Maxwell Edmund is one of the most upright descriptions of the sacrifices made by our venerated soldiers. India fought a long war to attain freedom from the British. It was a dream that was made true by the people who laid their lives in the honor of the country. The sacrifices did not end in 1947. India fought various wars with Pakistan and China even after that. Our soldiers have always been up front to safeguard the country from enemies. The glacial heights and extreme cold or dense mountainous jungles or the heat of the deserts, nothing can stop our soldiers from answering the call of duty. An unwavering will to succeed, accepting their grave responsibility, and an unbridled ability to give their lives for others. Such are the ethos ingrained in our soldiers.
To epitomize the sacrifices and merits of our brave brethren, National War Memorial was inaugurated on February 25, 2019. The National War Memorial pays homage to the soldiers who laid their lives during the Indo-Sino War of 1962, Indo-Pak War of 1965 and 1971, and Kargil conflict of 1999, and India's peacekeeping force operations in Sri Lanka.
With reverence in our hearts and pride in our eyes, on this momentous day, let us all embark upon this virtual journey of National War Memorial and pay homage to our brave hearts. The memorial has 4 concentric circles and a central obelisk at the bottom of which burns an eternal flame representing the immortal soldier. The concentric circles are designed as Chakravyuh, an ancient Indian war formation mentioned in the Mahabharata. The innermost circle is Amar Chakra, also called the Circle of Immortality. The structure of the memorial derives its name from the eternal flame Amar Jawan Jyoti, continuously burning under the 15-meter high main obelisk at the center of the monument. The flame symbolizes the immortality of the spirit of fallen soldiers and the promise that the nation will never forget their sacrifices.
The second circle, Virta Chakra, the circle of bravery, depicts the bravery of Indian forces in the form of a covered gallery that exhibits 6 murals crafted in bronze depicting valiant battle actions of Indian armed forces. battles showcased here are Battle of Gangasagar, Longewala, Tithwal, Rizangla, Operation Meghdoot and Operation Trident.
The next circle is the Tyag Chakra, circle of sacrifice. The circular concentric walls of honor are clad with granite tablets, where an independent granite tablet is dedicated to each soldier who has made the supreme sacrifice in the battlefield, where his name is etched in golden letters along with the details of the rank. It mentions 25,700 battle casualties.
The outermost circle is Rakshak Chakra, the circle of protection, made of rows of 695 trees depicting standing soldiers guarding, which is a reassurance to the citizens of the country about their safety against any threat, with each tree representing the soldiers who ensure the territorial integrity of the nation round the clock. Apart from these, there is a dedicated area called the Param Yodha Sthal for the busts of 21 soldiers who have been conferred with the Param Veer Chakra, the nation's highest gallantry award.
Let me acquaint you to the brave hearts of the nation who laid their lives safeguarding the nation.
First one is Major Somnath Sharma, Kumaon Regiment, date of action 3rd November 1947 in Battle of Badgam. Next is Nayak Jadunath Singh, Rajput Regiment, date of action 6th Feb 1948 in Indo-Pakistani War of 1947. Third is 2nd Lieutenant Rama Raghu Bavrane, Bombay Sappers, date of action 8th April 1948 in Indo-Pakistani War of 1947. Fourth is Company Havaldar Major Piru Singh, Rajputana Rifles, date of action 17th July 1948 in Indo-Pakistani War of 1947. Next is Lance Nayak Karam Singh, Sikh Regiment, date of action 13th October 1948 in Indo-Pakistani War of 1947. Next is Captain Gurbachan Singh Salaria, 1st Gorkha Rifles, date of action 5th December 1961 in Congo Crisis. Next is Major Dham Singh Thapa, 8th Gorkha Rifles, date of action 20th October 1962 in Sino-Indian War. Next is Subedar Joginder Singh, Sikh Regiment, date of action 23rd October 1962 in Sino-Indian War. Next is Major Shaitan Singh, Kumaon Regiment, date of action 18th November 1962 in Sino-Indian War. Next is Company Quarter Master Havaldar Abdul Hamid, the Grenadiers, date of action 10th September 1965 in Battle of Asaluttar.
Who wouldn't love to live the dream? The call of adventure beckons us all. But the question is, are we ready for it? As kids, we've always dreamed about being superheroes who could one day save the world. But as we grew up, we realized that superheroes are fictional. But heroes do in fact exist in real life. And who are these heroes? None other than our own Indian Armed Forces. Sure, maybe being a superhero is a kid's dream, but one can always be a hero while joining the defense services. Everyone wants to do something in life. They want to make their life meaningful. They want to leave a mark and do something extraordinary and unique. And the Indian Armed Forces provide such an opportunity. To dedicate one's life to service this nation is truly an honorable cause and worth dying for. It elevates one's status from a person to a hero. For the young and aspiring youth, Indian Armed Forces is the most suitable career option. I would like to join the Armed Forces and be of service to our nation. Do you?
अपने देश के लिए बहादुरी या बलिदान का कार्य करना सबसे बड़े सम्मानों में से एक है। अपने देश की सेवा करने से ज्यादा महान कुछ नहीं होता। हमारा देश आज भी आजादों का देश है, क्योंकि यह वीरों का भी घर है। हम आम नागरिक के रूप में अपने बहादुरों के कर्जदार हैं और यह कर्ज कभी भी चुकाया नहीं जा सकता।
To
Today, we have amongst us respected ex-commander Arun Jyoti sir. Sir has extensive experience of serving the government of India and due comprehension of government regulatory, legislative environment, coupled with a studied global understanding of people and cultures. It is my absolute honor to give the floor to respected Arun sir. Kindly enlighten us with your words. Over to you, sir.
Jai Hind and good morning to you all. I was really impressed when I joined in this assembly today, and pardon me that I was slightly late. But the views which I have heard from each one of you, so erudite, and the depth of each of your views is really praiseworthy. And the way you have accoladed the wonderful armed forces of our country, I'm definitely sure that we are absolutely in the safe hands, because these days my biggest worry is that where are we heading and what are we going to do in the coming future. But the way you have remembered all our martyrs, all our medal winners, all the people who have actually fought for this country to maintain its boundaries and to maintain the dignity of the nation, I think you people have done a wonderful job today. Kudos to you and to your teaching staff for bringing you up in this wonderful manner. So as you all know that Republic Day is celebrated every year on 26 January in our country. This day marks the anniversary of implementation of Constitution of India on 26th of January 1950. What does the Constitution of India lay? Actually, it lays down the fundamental political code, the structure, procedures, powers, and duties of government institutions. Also, it sets out fundamental rights, directive principles, and the duties of citizens. It is the supreme law of India. Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, popularly known as the Baba Sahib, was the chief architect of the Indian Constitution, a great national leader and patriot, a great author, a great educationist, a great political philosopher, a great religious guide. And above all, he was a kind of a great person without any parallel among his contemporaries during those days. And that was the prime reason that why he was selected to write the wonderful constitution that he did. If you look at the fundamental rights which the citizens of the country have, there is an objective. The inclusion of fundamental rights in the Constitution is to establish a government of law to preserve individual liberty, building an equitable society, and establish a welfare state. The success of the Indian Constitution for a country as diverse and complex as India continues to intrigue, impress, and inspire experts around the world. This is where the power of we, the people, comes into its full play. Responsible citizens, powered with right education, become the first bedrock of upholding the democratic values for India. Education would continue to remain the powerful platform which would provide natural stability to the nation at large. Education brings about multiple alignments. It helps to develop systemic coherence, which leads to development of vigilant citizens who can then uphold the right values for the country. These values need to resonate with the global perspectives, thus ensuring that India remains a strong example to the world for upholding its democratic values. To all the young ones who are dialed in today, it is very important to understand the great sacrifices which the previous and the present generations have done to enable the strengths generated by our beloved nation. These strengths need to be now diversified and developed to meet the ever-changing requirements of a pulsating globe. The challenges are not insurmountable if deeds are noble and not mere words. We would depend upon you, the young people, as you step into your respective independent professional and personal lives to ensure dignity for all the humanity in and around you. Your service will bring great glory and accolades to your country, your organizations, and your families. Please pledge on this momentous 73rd Republic Day to yourself that you will leave no stone unturned to achieve the glory that you are destined for. Thank you, parents, your teacher, your friends, and everyone around you for maintaining the peace and harmony in your lives, and ensure the same for humanity as you grow along. I wish you all a great success, and we would soon be ushering the 75th Republic Day for India, which is going to be a great milestone. Someday, some of you also will march down the Rajpath if you decide to join the armed forces. It's a great honor to serve the nation, be it in any capacity. Please do look forward to it. I was on a submarine when Kargil war was fought. I was out from my home for 45 days doing a war patrol for the country. And I think that's the honor which I still carry with me and I still wear it with great pride. Jai Hind and long live our Republic, India. Thanks a lot.
आपके विविधतापूर्ण शब्दों के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। आपने सकारात्मक रूप से हमारे सभी दर्शकों का उत्थान किया।
Knowing is not enough. We must do. And India did exactly that. The Republic of India turned 73 this year, and ever since, India's road to being a developed nation is certainly one for the books. As patriotism fills the air on this day, we take a look at the many milestones we have achieved along the way and look forward to the ones that await us in the future. Now, to elaborate on that further, we have a presentation on milestones of the Indian Republic.
We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic.
Seven decades later, our constitutional republic needs you to be a constitutional defender, to preserve, protect, and realize the progressive constitutional dream to build a new India.
New India can be built by thinking new thoughts, making new policies, and implementing those policies with patriotic fervor. India has the potential of becoming one of the most advanced and progressive countries of the world. The most dynamic factor in a country is the human resource. For building a new and reformed India, we need to rejuvenate the ideologies instilled in our preamble.
At times, you may also realize that living in a democratic system alone does not ensure justice to citizens in all its totality. Even now, we find a number of cases where not only the social and economic justice, but also the political justice is denied. Justice must be availed to every citizen. This ideal of a just and egalitarian society remains as one of the foremost values of the Indian Constitution.
In a diverse country like India, we need to look at how to provide equal opportunities for learning so that a student in a rural setting gets the same education material as that of a student in an urban one.
The new education paradigm will take the best of the traditional classroom and digital learning to empower students and teachers as outlined in the new education policy. Equity is the cornerstone of all educational decisions, ensuring all students can thrive in the education system. The approach to equity and inclusion will be kept common across schools and higher education.
There is also a commitment made in the preamble to promote the value of fraternity that stands for the spirit of common brotherhood among all people of India. In the absence of fraternity, a plural society like India stands divided.
Therefore, to give meaning to all the ideas like justice, liberty, and equality, the preamble lays great emphasis on fraternity. In fact, fraternity can be realized not only by abolishing untouchability among different sects of the community, but also by abolishing all communal or sectarian or even local discriminatory feeling which stand in the way of unity of India.
Our constitution prescribes some duties to be performed by the citizens. Fundamental duties have still greater importance because these reflect certain basic values like patriotism, nationalism, humanism, environmentalism, harmonious living, gender equality, scientific temper and inquiry, and individual and collective excellence. They help in realizing national goals by the active participation of citizens rather than mere spectators.
The concept behind the directive principle of state policy is to create a welfare state. In other words, the motive behind the inclusion of DPSP is not establishing political democracy. Rather, it's about establishing social and economic democracy in the state. These are some basic principles for the government while formulating laws of the country and executing them for the welfare of India.
The goal of environmentally sustainable economic growth is to achieve harmony between environmental sustainability, economic sustainability, and socio-political sustainability. It always encourages us to conserve and enhance our resources by gradually changing the manner in which we develop and use technologies. This can be easily achieved by reducing pollution, poverty, and unemployment.
India as a nation is entrepreneurial and at the apex of changes with a range of small businesses growing in its economic system. With India being world's youngest country, its youth needs to be engaged early and take action to create and sustain a long-term momentum that can help the country see its targets through.
Indian contemporary art is the art that has been and continues to be created during our lifetimes. It depicts how Indian artists are no longer confined to a particular medium. Rather, they are more enthusiastic and keen to explore new ideas and concepts. New media are coming and traditional media continues to boom.
It seems that ordinary media and elements are being reinvented and redefined to a dynamic extent. Contemporary Indian artists are trying to provide an unconventional twist to these medias. Contemporary Indian paintings have a beauty that harnesses the power of three-dimensional spaces, which gives an impact through its sheer size. These new and old forms of arts have and continue to inspire innovation that would help India pioneer in the world.
भारत की माटी कहती है, विविध हमारी भाषा, मित्र धर्म हिलमिल गढ़ते हैं, प्रेम की परिभाषा। जन गंगा जमुना सरस्वती सिखाए, छोड़ो कभी ना आशा। जन गण मन गा भारत ने सौगात अमन की पाई। तो स्वागत करिए कैंडी फ्लॉस और कक्षा पहली से तीसरी का उनकी प्रस्तुति आर यूनिटी आर आइडेंटिटी के साथ।
country in the world. The capital of India is New Delhi. It has 28 states and 8 union territories. India is a country rich in different castes, religions, and culture which are seen in its different states.
संविधान भारत की एक प्रमुख संस्था है जिसका कानून बनाना और संशोधन करना होता है। भारतीय संसद भवन का निर्माण 12 फरवरी 1921 को शुरू हुआ था।
संविधान में 22 भाषाओं को भारत की आधिकारिक भाषाओं का दर्जा दिया गया है, जिनमें से हिंदी हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा है। भारत में सबसे ज्यादा बोले जाने वाली भाषा हिंदी है। यहाँ लगभग 55 करोड़ लोग हिंदी बोलते हैं। The part of our rich cultural heritage, there are 6 forms of Indian classical dance, which represent different states and their culture. Some of the Indian classical dance forms are Kathak, Kuchipuri, Kathakali, Manipuri, and Odissi. Indian armed forces are divided into 3 parts: Army, Navy, and Air Force. Indian Army ensures national security and unity to maintain peace. The primary aim of Navy is to safeguard the nation's maritime border on sea. Air Force is the air arm of Indian Armed Force. Its mission to secure India by flying powerful aircraft in the air.
Despite globalization, India has managed to preserve its traditional dresses, a fundamental part of its culture. Even if there are dozens of traditional dresses worn both by women and men, they are widely recognized everywhere. Everybody knows about the sari, dhoti, and the star.
Ask तिरंगा लहराने दो, वीरों की गाथा गाने दो, देशभक्ति में हम सभी को झूम जाने दो। भारत के 73वें गणतंत्र दिवस की आप सभी को बहुत शुभकामनाएं। India became a sovereign democratic republic on Jan 26, 1950 after its constitution came into effect on this day. Respected President is welcomed at Rajpath. थल सेना, नौसेना और वायुसेना के जवान अपने अंदाज में सलामी देते हुए उनका अभिनंदन करते हैं. The army salute is conducted with the palms open facing the person being saluted so that they are not carrying any army weapons and they can trust them. In the olden days, since the sailors were always working on their ships, their hands would get greasy and dirty. So they started saluting with their palms facing down so as to not disrespect their seniors. The Air Force salutes with their palms at 45 degrees to the ground, showing the progress towards the skies. भारत के राष्ट्रपति का आगमन आज न केवल माननीय महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी के आने पर हमारी हवाई गर्व महसूस कर रही है, बल्कि वह चारों ओर फूलों की खुशबू बिखेरकर उनके स्वागत में सलामी भी दे रही है. जनगण की मधुर धुन हम सभी के हृदय में देशभक्ति का संचार करती हुई देश पर गर्व करने की प्रेरणा देती है. आज पूरा भारत ध्वजारोहण का उत्सव मनाने को तैयार है. माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी तिरंगे झंडे को लहराकर पूरे भारत के गणतंत्र होने का संदेश दे रहे हैं. Rajpath is now filled with many stories of bravery and sacrifices. The parade begins by the parade commander of Delhi Police and the recipients of Ashoka Chakra and Paramveer Chakra. Tableaux from different states depicting their cultures are displayed.
Mark Twain once said, and I quote, "India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and most constructive materials in the history of man are treasured in India only."
इन नन्हे योद्धाओं का जोश और अनुराग देखकर हमें ये पूर्ण विश्वास है कि हमारे अतीत की तरह ही हमारा भविष्य भी प्रगतिशील होने वाला है.
Certainly, Dhani. Just take a look at all that our future holds, be it with the new education policy and how, if we're able to persistently adapt and work on it, would enhance the future of this country even further. To develop important worldly and life skills, as well as learning skills such as communication and management, and also to monitor and help maintain student wellness. It has ushered a paradigm shift in learning from off learning to as and for learning. The pillars of this transformative and evolutionary education policy are affordability, accessibility, quality, equity, and accountability, so as to ensure continual and holistic learning. Such a shift toward focus on life skills and creativity, as we've realized, especially through this pandemic, is very essential and something that, if followed more widely and properly, would force our youth toward a more visionary future.
In India, multiculturalism is as old as recorded history. Since time immemorial, wave after wave of ethnically and culturally diverse people have poured into India, settled here, and assimilated into its mosaic. Each community, while interacting and being influenced by the others, retained its own identity, customs, beliefs, and ways of life. It has truly been said that Indian culture is a culture of cultures, like a beehive of interlocking cells. However, India has lost about 200 and 20 languages or dialects in the last 50 years. And UNESCO has declared almost 197 languages as endangered. Therefore, are extremely revolutionary, as Suryanshi was also talking about, new education policy has an extensive portion dedicated to multilingualism. Offering multidisciplinary courses are the essence of NEP 2020. A student or state is free to choose any two languages of native origin and a third language as well. Let us now welcome the students, teachers, and parents of ITL Public School with a presentation celebrating this very diversity.
हमारे दिल में प्यार, नैनों में करुणा हो, आओ सीमाओं को मिटाए, यही जीवन का ध्येय बन जाए.
शहर देश मेरा आ सौगी सौगी రోను
కానీ మనం ఎంత పురోగమిస్తే అంతగా తిరోగమనం చెందుతాం.
আৰু আমাৰ দেশ ৰাজনীতিৰ দ্বাৰা বিভক্ত হৈ পৰিছে. ধৰ্মই আমাৰ মূল নিৰ্ধাৰণ কৰে.
Lon dilen mans thaun, samun thaun, dai khören mans.
ഇതുപോലെ യാത്ര തുടർന്നാൽ നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ അഭിമാനത്തിൽ വീണുപോകും.
ପ୍ରତିଜଣ ମିଳି କରିକିନା ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକୁ ସମ୍ଭବ କରିପାରିବ.
வெறுப்பு பிரிப்பு மறுப்பு அச்சம் வாழ்க்கையில் இவை கிடவே இல்லை.
तेही पुन्हा घडण्याची आशा एकत्र येण्याची. उल्फत दिलों में रखना, दुआओं में ईका रखना.
જો આ રીતે અભિમાની રહીશું તો ઠોકર ખાઈને પડી જઈશું.
সেই দিন দূর নয়, জেরি নেই দেশ, হৃদয় নয়, থেকে যাবে শুধু এই নাম.
ਨਫ਼ਰਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜੀਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ.
ઘૃણા ભેદભાવ રહ્યા હામિલાય બાષ્પનું શબ્દ અઘ્રહીના.
अज्ञं बलं समाजस्य तद् भवे सदर्वः.
असां पंहिंजी ज़िंदगीअ में बिना डर ऐं नफ़रत सां रहूं.
प्रत्येक कुछ हासिल कर सके छी, सब मिलकर.
भारत देश अनेकता में एकता का प्रतीक है और यह प्रस्तुति इसका एक बेहतरीन उदाहरण है.
Truly said, Akshat. May I now call upon Rishita to express her thoughts on freedom through a self-composed poem named Dekho wo shaan se ambar ke mathe pe tiranga lehraya, where she expresses how she takes up the responsibility of endowing freedom to her peers. Over to you, Rishita.
सभी को 73वें गणतंत्र दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं. यह प्रजातंत्र, यह लोकतंत्र, गणतंत्र दिवस फिर आया. देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पे तिरंगा लहराया. वीरों की धरोहर है ये धरा, हर वीर याद है आया. देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पे तिरंगा लहराया. अधिकार मिले हमको सारे, कर्तव्य भी याद आया. देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया. भ्रष्टाचार मिटाने का हमने एक प्रण है उठाया. देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया. प्रदूषण का विनाश करने में हमने तन मन है लगाया. देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया. स्त्री पुरुष का भेदभाव अब खत्म होने को है आया. देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया. अमन शांति की कामना हमने करते खुद को पाया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। एसडीजी पूरे करने का विचार है हमको भाया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। आत्मनिर्भर भारत का राग है मन में समाया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। देश की माटी के कण कण से जय हिंद का स्वर आया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। स्वतंत्र जिए स्वतंत्र मरें, हृदय में देश समाया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। अपना भारत है विश्व गुरु, हाँ विश्व ने शीश झुकाया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। महान देश संविधान श्रेष्ठ गणतंत्र वृहद कहलाया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। देखो वो शान से अंबर के माथे पर तिरंगा लहराया। धन्यवाद।
वतन हमारा ऐसा कोई ना छोड़ पाए, रिश्ता हमारा ऐसा कोई ना तोड़ पाए। तभी तो इतनी सारी रियासतों को एक देश में पिरो पाए। दिल एक है, जान एक है हमारी, हिंदुस्तान हमारा यही तो शान है हमारी। इन्हीं भावनाओं के साथ लेकर प्रस्तुत है आप सभी के समक्ष आइटिलीन्स का एक दिल छू लेने वाला गीत, प्यारा भारत हमारा भारत।
धरती सुनहरी लागे,
माँ तेरी धरती सुनहरी लागे,
अंबर सचीला लागे, माँ तेरी धरती सुनहरी लागे।
भारत मेरा भारत, भारत प्यारा भारत, गंगा बहती है जहाँ, हिमालय खड़ा है जहाँ, वो प्यारा देश है मेरा देश, रंगों में माँ तेरी गोद में हमको यूं ही रखना सदा तू, हम सब तेरे अपने हैं, तेरे लिए जिए मरे, ऊंचा करेंगे सर तेरा, हम देश के मोती हैं, तिरंगा लहराए जहाँ, कोयल गुनगुनाए जहाँ, वो प्यारा देश है मेरा देश, खुशियों से भरा हमारा देश, वो प्यारा देश है मेरा देश, वादियों से घिरा हमारा देश।
जब कला समेकित शिक्षा की बात आती है तो गाने के साथ साथ नृत्य भी उसका एक अभिन्न अंग है। चलिए अब स्वागत करते हैं आईटीएल के शानदार कलाकारों का।
एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत। ये मिट्टी हमारी पहचान है, भारत की मिट्टी। अलग अलग कई तस्वीरों में बटी हुई फिर भी एक रंग है हमारी पहचान। एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत। जब आंध्र प्रदेश में बनी चूड़ियां पंजाब के घर आंगन में छलकती हैं, जब कश्मीर का केसर तमिलनाडु के जायकों में रंग भरता है, जब महाराष्ट्र का कांदा पोहा उड़ीसा की थालियों में सजता है, जब भाषा में पंजाबी, गुजराती, तेलुगु और मलयालम पर गूंज में वंदे मातरम। इस एकता की गूंज का नाम है एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत।
भारत हमको जान से प्यारा है, वंदे मातरम। सबसे न्यारा गुलिस्ता हमारा है, वंदे मातरम। सदियों से भारत भूमि दुनिया की शान है, भारत माँ की रक्षा में जीवन कुर्बान है। भारत हमको जान से प्यारा है, सबसे न्यारा गुलिस्ता हमारा है। सनी सा वंदे मातरम।
श्रेष्ठ भारत। गांव गांव शहर शहर चली रे बढ़ी रे एक लहर। गांव गांव शहर शहर चली रे बढ़ी रे एक लहर। बूंदे अनेक कहे सागर है, किरणें अनेक कहे सूरज है, धड़कन अनेक कहे दिल है। एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत।
Akshat, I actually wonder why we must celebrate something, a constitution that was formed and adopted 73 years ago. Can you tell me perhaps that how can the constitution adopted 73 years ago guide us now or even in the future for that matter?
Let me apprise you as well as the audience that the members of our Constituent Assembly were very foresighted and they laid down provision for securing our future generations as well. The Indian Constitution provides its citizens with one of the most extensive set of rights in the entire world. A significant part of our Constitution talks about the SDGs, that are the Sustainable Development Goals, be it SDG 5, gender equality, SDG 4, quality education, and more. And India's foreign policy as well ardently pursues SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and 17, that is partnership for the goals.
You're absolutely right, Akshat. Not only that, even afterwards, several amendments and additions to our constitution have followed that have set the path for a more sustainable tomorrow. Be it the introduction of fundamental duties, such as Article 51A, Part G, refers to the fundamental duty of every citizen to protect and improve the natural environment, which is actually in direct accordance to the SDG 13, climate action. There are so many such examples, Akshat. The sturdiness and imperishable sense of the Indian Constitution rests on the principle of multiculturalism enshrined in it. It not only provides functioning guidance to the state, but also acts as a custodian of the country's plurality. Respect for diversity is the founding idea of the Indian Republic, and the Parliament, even though has the power to amend the Constitution, cannot amend the basic structure of the Constitution, the soul of the Constitution. The world fascinates at how excellently our sacred document has managed to keep people of so much diversity in faith, in tradition, and language together. Our dear and respected principal ma'am has always motivated us with these very values of inclusivity and togetherness. She has always encouraged us to free our thoughts from the cliched concepts, from rigidity, and from narrow prejudices. Therefore, now may I request Dr. Sudha Acharya, ma'am, Principal, ITL Public School, to address the students on this great occasion. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar and wish you all a very happy 73rd Republic Day. At the outset, I must congratulate you. I am witnessing the program and continuously writing to Sanchayita because her number is with me. My heartfelt blessings to all the participants. It is one of the, I think, best assembly I have ever witnessed in ITL. What an effort. So this prefectural body really is really worth mentioning here, and you have done a great job. Saying that, let's start with this Republic Day. As you said, we have a great constitution which is given by our forefathers. The values of constitution or the very essence of constitution lies in us only, isn't it? So we are talking about fundamental rights, but rights comes with responsibility and accountability. So we must understand our duties also. At the present time, we are all going through an unprecedented health emergency. For the last 2 years, we are confined in our homes, and that has given a lot of adversities. We are talking, you have dealt with loss, grief, isolation, aggression, all these feelings and emotions. So when we talk about economic growth and knowledge power, superpower, but the most important values are taking care of each other, empathy, kindness, you know. So if you can, every human being is a library and every human being has a story to narrate. Just if you lend your empathetic ear to somebody during this time when we are all going through a lot, that serves and that takes you from merely being a human being to being human, as I always say. And then there are so many distractions, children, nowadays, so many influences. You know, some of you have become influencers on YouTube channel. I can see that on Insta. You know, through your lifestyle or what you do, you try to influence others. Before being an influencer, you just think, what are your values? Isn't it? What you are trying to influence to your youngsters. But I can bet all our Italians have been great influencers and peer leaders, and they have really leaving behind a great legacy for our youngsters. As peer leaders, you have done sustainable Diwali campaign, say no to plastic. Then we talk about accepting no, saying no, understanding the boundary, physical boundary, emotional boundary. We have our own space, mutual respect, tolerating each other's views. We can agree and respectfully we can disagree, isn't it? So these are the values which will take us forward. These are the values with which you can be global citizens. So now when we are talking about Indian rich culture, heritage, tradition, we are shifting now to metaverse, meta learning. You know, that's the buzzword now. The future is AR, VR, coding, AI. But all these things will happen with humanization of technology only. There is always a human being, the other side of the technology. That we must remember. Technology cannot intimidate us. It has to be driven by us only, human power, isn't it? So that's what we have to take care. So on this day of Republic Day, I wish all of you great success, and what you have done till now, you will carry forward that legacy. You know, after you pass out from ITL, I'm having some. Yeah, momentary, I think electricity went off. So, okay, so I was talking about the constitutional values and rights and all those things. Now I'll come to all of you have greatly discussed about new education policy. You spoke about how we have shifted from content-based learning to conceptual clarity or concept-based or competency-based learning. What do you mean by that competency-based learning? Unless you achieve the learning outcome, there is no point of learning. As you said, the assessment, all of you dreaded your assessment, isn't it? Assessment is not of learning. You have to memorize everything, whatever is done in the classroom, and then come and reproduce. Assessment should be a fun. Assessment should be for learning. Assessment should be as learning. And I don't believe assessment can take place only through pen and paper. You know, what you showed today, how you presented, how you spoke today, I can assess you. I can see your leadership skill. I can see your competency, your confidence, your collaboration, you know, caring for each other. So that is what assessment means. So in the 21st century, we are talking about holistic progress. We are no longer talking about report card, which all of you just hate it, isn't it? So we'll not report your academic assessment. We will tell your parents how holistically you are progressing. What is a continuous progress in your achievement? That's most important. So these are few paradigm shift, as you said already, paradigm shift in our educational policy. But most important is that the values, the emotional, social, emotional learning, and your mental well-being. When I'm talking about well-being, nowadays we are talking about your digital well-being also, because most of the time you are on the screen. You know, so how you can reduce your passive screen time, because you cannot avoid classes or your coaching classes. So you have to spend some quality time with your family, with the environment. You can contribute towards the society. You have done that, I know. During the lockdown, you have done a lot as a peer group, and we have helped each other. We have stood with each other. That's the basic human values which our constitution is based on. So we must not forget the sacrifice of our freedom fighters, or those who have given us this great sacred constitution. So some of you said that you want to join Indian Army or Air Force or Navy. I really feel proud, because that kind of ambition, that kind of thought process in heart only can take us forward. We must not forget their sacrifice. And I must thank Commander Arun Jyoti, our parent, to grace the occasion, and for his inspiring and motivating words for you. And our parents are greatest pillar. Without their support and collaboration, we cannot achieve anything. Children, remember, parents and teachers, these are two groups of people who unconditionally love you. They are your well-wishers. So you take their advice, take their whatever what should I say? Teachers, sometimes you say that they are really putting you behind, or telling you something you may not like, but that is for your well-being in future only. When you leave school, you will remember them. That in colleges, when you find your freedom, you don't find that anybody is caring whether you study, whether you are attending class, and how your values, how you present yourself. Here you are in a protected environment. We try to protect you. So here, when protection is coming, I'll come to vaccination. I must congratulate all my ITLians, the way you have come forward. We have achieved 85% vaccination. No other school, very rarely, one or two schools have achieved this. So every day on the newspaper, everybody is asking, how come you have achieved this 85%? Here I congratulate my parents, because they have come forward. They only have taken the step to bring you to a vaccination. And we also run 5 days vaccination camp. So many things to congratulate for, of my prefectural body. I think they are the best. Till now, I can find out, even though they are not coming to school, they are sitting at home, but their contribution is immense till now. So I congratulate all the prefectural body, especially head boy, head girl who has taken the spearhead and the leadership. And they are the peer leaders, and all who are visible on the screen. Navya, Rishita, Tanya, Shivangi, Akshat, all I can name. So all of you have done a great job. I congratulate all of you. So let's be proud to be an Indian. At the end, I must tell you, even though there are a lot of pressure, peer pressure, parental pressure, even teachers putting pressure, and एक चीज याद रखिए, अपनी दिल, दिमाग और हाथ हमेशा साफ रखना. जिंदगी में कभी आपको कभी भी आइसोलेशन या डिप्रेशन या एग्रेशन की फीलिंग नहीं आएगी. अपनी किसी की प्रभाव से नहीं जीना, किसी की अभाव से नहीं जीना, हमेशा अपने स्वभाव से जीना. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your elevating words. On this great occasion, we vow that we should definitely contribute towards nation building. That's our solemn responsibility.
Well said, Akshat. Now, to wrap up this event, may I now call upon Tanya of Class 12th F to kindly propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Sanchayata. Lal Bahadur Shastri once said, and I quote, "We believe in peace and peaceful development, not just for ourselves, but also to the world." Namaskar to our esteemed guest, respected principal ma'am, my lovely teachers, fellow peers, and to one and all gathered here. I am Tanya Pawar, Secretary Activity Council and President Art Club, and my heart swells with pride as I present the vote of thanks for such a momentous occasion. Here at ITL, we have always believed in enhancing the moral character and the leadership of our students, and this is what empowers them to become responsible citizens of the free world. Today's glorious forum marked another important milestone in helping our young minds to engage and explore the depths of our freedom. We would like to wholeheartedly thank our respected and dearest principal ma'am, Dr. Sudhacharya, for always inspiring us to free our thoughts and take flights to learn, to explore, and to innovate. Ma'am, you have always been a great source of encouragement for the entire vehicle of the ITL fraternity. We would like to thank our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Arun Jyoti, who's an ex-commander, for sparing time from his busy schedule and gracing the event. Our sincere thanks goes to the teacher in charges, the coordinators, the music department, and our tech and organizing team for so marvelously harmonizing the entire event and for their committed effort. And last but definitely not the least, a great thanks to the astounding audiences today. Let's all pledge to contribute towards a nationwide celebration to stride towards a path of nation first, always first. Let's aim for holistic development of self through empowerment of life skill, emphasizing upon the importance of future needs of resiliently aligning ourselves with the aspirations of new India. Let peace and harmony reign, let freedom reign. And in the triumph of our nation, let's all celebrate this day together as one. Signing off, this is Tanya.